Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Crystal Vision Therapy. I am your host, of course, Tisha Robinson. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today, y'all, we gotta talk about some shows. Netflix kind of got me in a chokehold. Like, they got me. Like, I am full attention. And anytime I think about going to something else, a new show comes out. So I want to talk about Perfect Match today. So Perfect Match is a show. It's kind of like it's not like Love is Blind. I think that people know each other already. There are the contestants on the show are people from seasons of Love is Blind, the most different Netflix shows that they brought together in this one place, hoping to get a perfect match, right? So, of course, the host is Nick Lachey. This is their series of shows, and it kind of goes into that. Now, I am well aware that a lot of this is, they're influencing, they're acting, but they are doing things that normal people do in everyday life that I think we should kind of talk about and really get into some dialogue. Because, of course, I think there's always a good time to talk about mental health. There's always a good time to talk about patterns of people's behavior. So I'm enthralled in these shows because of patterns and behaviors, right? Cool. So I want to talk about someone in particular on the show. His name is Dom. So as you can see, y'all, um, Dom presents on the show. I would call him probably a nice guy, right? Kind of there's like a nice guy narrative. There's this whole persona that nice guys, quote unquote, finish last, right? So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this and you want to see it, I'm about to spoil some stuff. So right. So forward it a little bit and then and so I don't ruin it for you. And so he comes into the house, he makes a beeline for someone named Francesca. Now, Francesca has always kind of been maybe like, I want to say maybe one of the headliners. Like she's probably someone that they really courted to come into this and wanted her to be there because of her influence and how she did on Too Hot to Handle. So he makes the beeline for Francesca, um, and then doesn't consider anyone else. Literally had all these dates. Because the premise of the show is, your match gets tested. So you may be matched with someone, you get on a date with someone else, and then you can choose to unmatch and match with that person. Didn't give any thoughts to anyone else. And then as soon as an ex walks into the home, Francesca left him. He was telling her he loved her, she was perfect, he was gonna take her home to meet, Granny, and she was out. And then he got with someone else subsequently, and that seems to work out. I think they actually won, which was interesting, but we will digress. That's a different topic for a different time. Why I chose Dom to highlight is because I felt like he was the most relatable for men that I see in therapy, where you're a nice guy and you feel like because you're nice and because being nice is frowned upon in masculinity, it's a problem that you should change. And typically, what I realize right away is I don't know if I believe that there are quote unquote nice people. I believe that we are made up of moments. I believe we make choices. Whether we are loving, generous in the moment, but sometimes we could be mean, and some people have more mean moments than others. I believe we are a collection of our moments. Why this gets dangerous is because niceness now gets weaponized. I should have access to you because I'm nice. And that's not typically how things work, right? You know, I do think that you can have confidence in yourself and say, I'm a good choice. I don't want the end all be all to be that you're nice, right? So you have people come in, they're nice, but maybe don't have resources, can't take care of themselves, but want the niceness to win everyone over. It's not gonna work. It's not going to work. And what I realized, something else I realized, which is what Dom does, is they are also the villain in someone's story. And so they are 100% making the same decisions as what they would deem a not so nice man is doing. And let's talk about what Dom did, because I think this is such a great example. So what are those choices that he made, right? So number one was he went for looks. You know, he saw her, he was like, oh my God, it's her. Almost felt like he was like unworthy, like in her presence. She didn't seem like she doesn't seem like she's a super nice person. I get that she's alluring, I get that she's attractive, but what else was a deciding factor before you chose that person? Right? And if you are looking to choose the most popular girl in the room, know that she has 2,700 options because she's popular, right? How do you stand out? It cannot be because you're nice. That can't be the only reason. How are you standing out? Why would she want to be with you? Someone who has their pick of bush. Why? Because at this point, everyone's going to be nice to her because they want something from her. So they go for looks too. Lack of confidence, right? So I always say this: when you present to someone as not confident and you present to them as if, oh, you know what, you actually shouldn't be with me, I really have no choice but to believe you. You don't think you're good enough for me? Maybe you don't think that you're good enough for me, or you don't think you're good enough for the person you're trying to pursue. That puts you in a crazy headspace, and then that person too, because they're like, is it true? Like, should I be looking elsewhere? And no one truly wants to spend their time comforting someone else and having to reassure them like, yes, you are the person that I'm looking for. Confidence is very attractive. Very, very, very attractive. There are people who can absolutely partner with someone who's not as confident. Is that a choice? You know, is that like a preference? I've never heard that. I've never heard someone say, unless they're trying to get over on someone. I've never heard someone say, actually, you know, I want to partner with someone who's not confident. Very so another thing, dating wrong. So it's like you didn't even try to really see like the connection and you know what was going on. Like they definitely had awkward moments. Like there was like a time there was like a kissing. Everyone was blindfolded and they like round tabled and kissed everyone and they had to rate each other. And you can tell their kiss wasn't passionate. They like both of them on his side too, but instead of being honest, just keeping himself in the position just because he felt like he had the prize, right? So truly showing a lack of relationship skills, and not like realizing that he was also a prize too. Like he had his pick. Everyone was like looking at Dom for a moment, and I think he was just so stuck on what he was doing and just had you could see kind of this lack of confidence, that he just stuck with a poor choice for himself and got hurt. Also, like he was interesting because he definitely would come on strong in a way that was like, oh, you know, my family's gonna love you, my brother's gonna love you, like planting castles in the sky. And didn't even realize like I think he was just so excited that she spoke to him. They matched, they continued to match. Didn't even realize she was just not that into him. And so be careful about planning these castles. And this goes for men and women, because women do this as well, where it's like, oh my goodness, like, you know, we're going to be together forever, and not even realizing that the person's checking out. They're not really as invested. And that's definitely a red flag. So I say all this to say, why I say I don't, you know, when someone's like, oh, I'm just too nice at comes therapy, why do you think you have these outcomes? Oh, I'm nice. I push further because typically under this niceness is usually a lack of social skills, lack of dating skills, choosing incorrectly, literally choosing incorrectly, not understanding, you know, why they're choosing the people that they're choosing, and just kind of acting out of, you know, trauma. That's typically what happens. And, you know, I also believe that there are certain people that are socialized to be more nice than others, because they feel like they can't necessarily do the other stuff, right? Maybe they feel like I'm going to be a nice guy because I don't know how to necessarily be a little bit more quote unquote what people will coin as masculine, right? Because nice isn't um an alpha characteristic or whatever kind of is kind of the new um definition of what it is to truly be a man. We're making choices and we're refusing people to. We are absolutely refusing people to. Look how many people Dom refused, right? Like that wanted to get to know him. But because that one person, right, that he chose, which based on superficial reasons, right, it didn't work out. You kind of felt like it's like, oh, it didn't work out for me. Now, I don't think that Dom was like for me. Like I said, he won in the end. He met another person. They hit it off. But I could see it going that direction, and it goes that direction for so many people. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let's talk about this because this is interesting. This happens every day. I think every person goes through this where someone you meet, there's maybe not an attraction, but they're nice, and you're like, oh wow, and maybe they get upset because they feel like that is enough to get them over the hump. I'm here to tell you it's not. And if you're that person that does this, it is not. Let's work on some other stuff. Let's work on some other skills. But I want you to keep being the generous person you are, the caring person that you are, the stand-up person, right? We want to keep those characteristics, but just build on other things, right? So we're making good choices that really work for us. All right. So let me know what y'all think in the comments about Dom, about Francesca, Georgina. There was a lot to talk about. We could have really talked about so much. It was another character that was kind of contemplating for me to talk about, but Dom really stood out to me because yeah, I think that it's important to kind of discuss these type of things and these behaviors, because essentially that's what reality TV brings to us, these realistic behaviors that we're all doing that we can all kind of learn from. So get in the comments, let me know what you think. Like I said, Netflix has me in chokehold, so you're probably gonna see another video from me because I think Love is Blind is coming out, so you'll see another video from me. But I enjoyed it. It was interesting, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. All right, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.